Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 2,000 subscribers and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy the content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
What's going on, everybody? You are watching Vikings Now by Chat Sports, and I'm Patrick Zeppman, and today we're diving headfirst into absolute chaos. We're talking about three moves, three absolutely insane, bold, and potentially franchise-altering moves that the Minnesota Vikings could make right now to help out their newly acquired quarterback, Kyler Murray. These aren't your typical safe, conservative decisions that GM Kwesi Adofo-Mensah might make on a Tuesday afternoon. No, these are the kinds of moves that would make Vikings Nation lose their collective minds. The kind of moves that would break the internet, flood Reddit with endless debates, and have sports media talking about Minnesota for weeks on end. We've got a trade up in the draft, we've got a trade for a proven player, and we've got a draft pick selection that might sound crazy on paper, but could transform this offense into something absolutely terrifying. All three of these moves would be absolute shockers, and honestly, all three would fundamentally help Kyler Murray succeed in Minnesota. So buckle up, because we're about to explore some wild territory. Let's kick things off with the first move, and this one requires the Vikings to get absolutely ultra-aggressive in the 2026 NFL Draft. I'm talking about trading up for Notre Dame running back Jeremiah Love. Now here's the situation as it stands right now. The Vikings currently have the fifth best odds to land Jeremiah Love in this upcoming draft in April. Think about that for a second. Fifth best. But let's look at who's actually ahead of them. The Tennessee Titans are sitting pretty as the overwhelming favorites at minus 125 odds, and it makes complete sense why. They hold the fourth overall selection in the draft, and Jeremiah Love is almost certainly going to be a top 7 pick. Tennessee loaded up on defense in free agency, but still has a gaping hole at running back. If you're the Titans and you want to get some quality help for Cam Ward, taking Jeremiah Love at pick number 4 is absolutely the move to make. Then you've got the Washington Commanders with the 7th overall pick sitting at plus 175 odds. The New York Giants own the 5th overall pick and they're at plus 400. The Arizona Cardinals with the 3rd overall pick are at plus 750. A little aggressive for sure, but there's value there if you're a betting person. And then there are the Vikings at plus 400 odds, which honestly sounds decent until you realize it's actually the 5th best chance. That's not exactly inspiring confidence if you're trying to land one of the most exciting offensive weapons in this draft class. Here's the brutal reality of the situation. If the Vikings want to guarantee themselves getting Jeremiah Love, they're going to need to trade up into the top 4. We're talking about either calling the Arizona Cardinals for pick number 3 or picking up the phone and dialing Tennessee for pick number 4. Now, let's be real here. It would absolutely take a Godfather offer to make that jump from pick 18 all the way to pick 3 or 4. So what would I offer to the Tennessee Titans? I'd put together a package of Jordan Addison and the 18th overall pick in exchange for pick number 4. Here's my logic, and stay with me on this, because it makes sense when you think about it. You're essentially trading away a proven weapon at wide receiver to bring in a different kind of weapon at running back. The philosophy here is that Jeremiah Love is a better weapon overall than Jordan Addison. That's why you're attaching that 18th overall pick to make the deal happen. Love is younger, he's coming in on a rookie contract, and even though his 4th overall rookie contract would make him the 8th highest paid running back in the entire NFL, it's still a significant advantage to have him on that rookie deal. He's getting comps to Jahmyr Gibbs, to Bijan Robinson. You've got to really believe that Jeremiah Love can be that next generational talent at the position. But here's the thing, are you really going to pay Jordan Addison $25 to $30 million per year? Maybe the Vikings will eventually do it, but honestly, I still have my doubts. So on paper, this trade package makes sense, but I'd have to guess the Titans would ultimately say no to that deal. Why? Because they need a wide receiver too. Yes, they've got Wendell Robinson, but Jordan Addison is significantly better than Robinson, and they'd have Jordan Addison for the next 2 years for $21 million, which is honestly a pretty reasonable wide receiver contract, so the Titans would probably turn this down. But what if we look at other options? What if Jeremiah Love somehow falls to pick 7? What if the Washington Commanders are the team in position to draft him? Let's say you pick up the phone and call the Washington Commanders. Maybe the new defensive coordinator in Washington, Dante Jones, is sitting in that war room and he's thinking, hey, I want to bring in my old friend Jonathan Jennard. The Vikings have been shopping Jennard hard this offseason, and here's why. They don't want to pay him that massive contract. Reports are coming out saying that Jennard wants up to $31 to $33 million per year. I love Jonathan Jennard. I think he's been fantastic for the Minnesota Vikings. But 31 to 33 million? That's just too much. That's an overpay in my opinion. He's already on a contract worth $22 million over the next 2 seasons. If Jennard is saying he won't play on that deal and wants $33 million, well, okay then, sit out. You signed that contract a couple of years ago and the market hasn't moved that much. Great player, love the guy, but that's just not happening. So here's where it gets interesting. What if you package Jennard along with pick 18 and move up to pick 7? Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, Patrick, are you absolutely out of your mind? Are you smoking crack? A running back is not worth all this. Normally, I would agree with you. Normally, I would be saying this exact thing about literally every other running back that has ever come out of the NFL draft, but Jeremiah Love is a different type of player. He's a different type of cat. The past 2 seasons at Notre Dame, he's been absolutely ridiculous. Almost 1,400 yards last season with 21 touchdowns. The dude is a freak of nature. Think about what happens if you actually pull off this move. Imagine you get Jeremiah Love, you keep Jordan Addison in the mix, and now you've got Kyler Murray running a system with one of the most dynamic running backs in the league. The read options between Kyler and Jeremiah Love would be absolutely devastating. You'd have a top 5 running game just from those 2 alone. And then on the outside, you've got Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. Think about the foot speed on this Vikings offense. Think about the misdirection. Think about the possibilities. If Jeremiah Love is even half as good as Jahmyr Gibbs or Bijan Robinson, you're adding him to Jefferson, to Addison, to Kyler. The foot speed on this offense would be absolutely ridiculous. You'd have one of the most dynamic, difficult-to-defend offenses in the entire National Football League. Now, here's the honest truth. I would be absolutely stunned if Jeremiah Love ends up wearing a Vikings jersey. The Vikings having the 5th best odds is a little ridiculous when you really think about it. Love isn't falling to 18. There's really no easy avenue for the Vikings to trade up and acquire him without giving up a massive package. So, would I be shocked if this happens? Absolutely. But would it be one of the most impactful moves in franchise history? 100%. Let's move on to the second blockbuster move the Vikings could make. And this one actually might be more realistic. We're talking about trading for another running back, and his name is De'Von Achane. Now, it's very clear if you've been paying any attention to the NFL over the last couple of months that the Miami Dolphins are in a complete and total fire sale. They've let go of Bradley Chubb and Tyreek Hill, 2 of the highest paid players on the roster. They cut them. They traded them away. They shipped Jalen Waddle, one of their star young wide receivers, to the Denver Broncos. And now, some people are speculating that De'Von Achane could be available. Adam Schefter came out and said that the Dolphins will not be trading De'Von Achane, but here's what I've learned in this business. If the price is right, teams will move off almost anybody. I think Achane could be available. I think it would cost a first-round pick to acquire him. And honestly, I think pick 18 might just get it done. I legitimately believe that if the Vikings want Achane badly enough, they have a much easier path to getting him than they do getting Jeremiah Love. I think the Dolphins would look at pick 18 and say, absolutely, we'll do it. Then Miami would end up with 3 first-round picks, with 2 of them in the top 18. That's value they can use to rebuild. Now, I think De'Von Achane is absolutely worth a late first-round pick. The guy is top 5 in the NFL at running back. What he's done in Miami over the last couple of years has been absolutely special. And here's something people don't talk about enough. The Vikings' new assistant coach, Frank Smith, has connections with Devin Akane from their time together in Miami. They know each other. They've got rapport. But here's the thing. This would be a bold move for the Minnesota Vikings. For a team that really needs to hit on draft picks, trading away the 18th overall selection for Devin Akane would be a bold move. I've got mixed thoughts on it, honestly. It's one of those things where if Kwesi Adofo-Mensah and Kevin O'Connell called me up on YouTube and said, "Patrick, should we trade pick 18 for Devin Akane?" I would literally sit down for days and really think about it. Because when you look at the tape, this guy is special. In his rookie year, he averaged 7.8 yards per carry. That's absolutely insane. In 2024, he put up 4.5 yards per carry, which is still very good. And this past season, he carried the ball 238 times for 1,300 yards with 5.7 yards per carry. Those are ridiculous numbers, folks. Those are elite-level numbers. Here's what I'd say. If some genie came down from the sky and told me that trading for Devin Akane would guarantee the Vikings have a top 5 rushing offense next season, I would do it in a heartbeat. Why? Because if you have a top 5 rushing offense, that means you have a top 10 offense in the league. And if you've got a top 10 offense combined with a top 5 defense, you're a Super Bowl contender. You're talking about a legitimate championship team. So giving up pick 18 for Akane, I'm in on it. And here's the thing, if you're willing to give up pick 18 and Jordan Addison for Jeremiah Love, then you should absolutely be willing to give up pick 18 for Devin Akane. Some Vikings fans think Akane is just a middle-of-the-pack running back, but this guy is a freak of nature. He's got elite speed, elite vision, he understands angles and patience. The Vikings' offense would get significantly better with Akane in the mix. It's a tough decision, but I would seriously consider it. Now we get to the third and final blockbuster move, and this one is more likely than a lot of people think it would happen on draft night. We're talking about the Vikings using pick 18 on a wide receiver. Now, in this draft, you've got the big three at the position, and I love all three of these guys. They're all very different from each other, but they're all potential stars. First, you've got Carnell Tate. Carnell Tate reminds me of a T. Higgins-type wide receiver. He's a boundary receiver with excellent size and length. He's a fantastic 50-50 ball guy, and I really like his game. He can win contested situations, and he's the type of player you want on the outside in critical moments. Then you've got Micaiah Lemon, your slot wide receiver, who reminds me of Amon-Ra St. Brown. This guy is twitchy, electric, and explosive. He's also a great 50-50 ball player, and this past season at USC, he ran a ton of slot fade routes. He's dynamic in space and can take a short pass to the house. And then there's Jordan Tyson, and honestly, Jordan Tyson is my favorite of the three. Tyson is the do-it-all receiver. He's in that elite bucket with guys like CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, and Jordan Addison. He's a route runner, a separator, and a playmaker. If I had to pick one of these three to build around, it's Tyson. Now, I'm not trying to be controversial here, and I genuinely believe this with my whole heart. If Tyson, Lemon, or Carnell Tate is available at pick 18, the Vikings should close their eyes and draft that player. Don't look at the roster. Don't look at positions of need. Don't overthink it. One of these three guys should be a top 10 pick in this draft. If they fall to pick 18, you just draft them. This is the definition of taking the best player available, or BPA as we say in the draft community. Here's why this matters. Yes, do the Vikings need another technical wide receiver 3 at pick 18? No, they don't. But think about what this would give you. You'd have the best wide receiver trio in NFL history. I know Vikings fans might crucify me for saying that, especially the older fans who remember Carter, Moss, and Reed, who were incredible. But if you have Tyson, Addison, and Jefferson all on the same roster, that would be one of the nastiest groupings of wide receivers I've ever seen in my entire life. That's not hype. That's just facts. And here's the flexibility it gives you. If you decide to trade Jordan Addison down the road, you can absolutely do that without worrying about your receiver room. You'd still have two absolute studs at the position. And at the end of the day, Lemon, Tate, and Tyson could all be top 10 wide receivers in the NFL. They could all be elite-level talent. We already know Jefferson is going to be here for years. So, just for next year, you could have a window where you have the best trio of wide receivers in the entire National Football League. Look at what the Los Angeles Rams are doing this offseason. They're a very well-run organization, and they've been scouting wide receivers hard. They've been calling the Eagles about A.J. Brown. They want multiple receivers. Sean McVay has been running a bunch of multiple tight end sets over the last couple of seasons, but maybe he's going to shift back into traditional 13 personnel. Kevin O'Connell runs 13 personnel about 50% of the time. The trend in the league is to stack weapons around your quarterback. So I think taking a wide receiver at pick 18 is a lot more likely than people think, especially if one of the big three is there. Now, if someone like Omar Cooper falls to pick 18, I like Omar Cooper, but that might be a little much. Only go wide receiver if it's one of the big three. But if Tyson, Lemon, or Tate are available, close your eyes and take them. Take them over Dylan Thiemann. Take them over McNeil Warren. Take the receiver at pick 18 because the value would just be too good to pass up. So there you have it, folks. 3 blockbuster moves that could transform the Minnesota Vikings offense and give Kyler Murray every tool he needs to absolutely explode in Kevin O'Connell's system. Would all 3 of these moves actually happen? Probably not. Would some of them be controversial? Absolutely. But that's what makes the NFL draft so exciting. That's what makes this offseason so fun to talk about. Here's what I want from you. Drop a comment down below. Tell me which of these 3 moves you'd actually make if you were running the Vikings organization. Would you trade up for Jeremiah Love? Would you trade for Devin Achane? Would you take a receiver with pick 18? I want to hear from you, the Jerome Nation, the best community in all of YouTube. Your takes matter. Your thoughts matter. Let's get a conversation going in the comments, because that's what this channel is all about. And speaking of what this channel is about, if you're not already subscribed, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications so you never miss a video. We're talking Vikings football. We're dropping new content multiple times a week, and we're building something special here. Your support means everything to us, and it allows us to keep bringing you the best Vikings analysis on YouTube. Let me know your thoughts. Would you make these moves? Are you crazy? Am I crazy? Let's figure this out together. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. This is Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Zeppman. Let's go Vikings. Let's go Kyler. Let's go Jerome Nation. Peace out.
Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 2,000 subscribers and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy the content, please hit that subscribe button right now.